What did I do wrong? Okay. Hello! Okay. Can you guys see me? I had to move around my desk. Because, the sun is, shining bright right in front of me. Wait, let me see. That looks good. Hi, Tracy. Hi, Dave. Hi, Jill. It's been a while. How's everyone doing? Yes! I know. It's been a while. I think it's been, So July, I had my car problems. The motor on my car blew. Then I talked about it on my Tuesday live, which was, I think, July 2nd. And I think that was the last time I did a live. So July, August, September, and now we're October. So it's almost been 3 months. Let me just double check. I don't want to say the wrong thing. So my last live was 2 months ago. On July 16th. Yeah, I think it was the update of. Yeah. So yeah. It's been a while. Yeah, well, there's many reasons. The car being the tipping point. Bon matin! Hello, Darren. So losing my car for more. So if you didn't know this, on June 30th, my motor had problems. And my neighbor's father is a mechanic, and on July 1st, on Canada Day, he inspected it and he says, well, your motor's done. It's not seized. It's fixable, but you need to consider your options. So I'm like, oh, shoot. So he was going on vacation for 2 weeks, and he lent me this 1984 Volkswagen Rabbit with no roof, the roof popping up. And we're 5, and it's a 4-seater. So it was a complete nightmare. And it was a lot of logistics. Fred was going on vacation, and I was miserable. I was home, and for 2 weeks not knowing what's going to happen with my car was driving me completely insane. So I have a Kia 2015. So the car's paid, it's mine. And I didn't want to go to Kia because I didn't want to pay an arm, a leg, and 2 lungs to get it fixed. So I had to wait that 2 weeks period. So that's probably one of the reasons why I did not go live. I was beyond controllable. I couldn't sit still. And in those moments, hi Karen, I discovered the board, paddle boarding, and I just decided I was going to just leave the house. I left the house as much as I could. I didn't drive the car that was lent to me, so I had neighbors drive me places, and I just went out. I couldn't be home. And after that, a friend of ours had a pickup truck that was just laying around, an old beat up. I think it had nearly 400,000 miles on it. And the dash was almost like a Christmas tree because every single light was on. But it got me to the water near my house, and we were able to somewhat have a normal vacation because of that pickup truck. But then thankfully, my neighbor came back. Well, my neighbor's father came back from vacation and told me, Annie, I was wrong. Your motor's seized. And I called Kia, and it passes on warranty. So I'm like, really? That's amazing. So let me just catch up on comments. Hi, Dave. Going to have to go out and split some wood shortly. I'm only going to stay for about an hour because I have a lot of canning to do. because of everything that happened, I froze almost everything. And now my freezers are like overflowing and I need to deal with some stuff. Happy to see you. Okay, so the mechanics was gone 3 weeks. Before the diagnosis and the confirmation that Kia was taking my car, that was another week. And then Kia told me that they would lend me a car. But that's when like the second stone got dropped on my head. He's like, I can't tell you how long it's gonna take because we don't know if your motor's stock. And then once we get the motor, your car is almost 10 years old. We have no idea how it's going to go. So it can be a 2-week process or it could be like a year's process. I'm like, oh, for the love of God, I need a car. It's like, we only have one car. My husband has a truck, but it's not his and he can't drive a flatbed like all over the place. And it only has 2 seat belts. So I'm like, oh my God. But I'm like, okay, so they lent me a car. I had to pay for it weekly, but I'm like, okay, someone somewhere somehow is like telling me that I should just like enjoy the summer. So that's why I literally left the house almost on a daily basis when my husband was on vacation. And we discovered paddleboarding, kayaking, fishing. We actually fished in the rain. If we couldn't paddleboard, we would go to the water. If we couldn't fish, we would walk around. Like we just made stuff happen for us over the summer. But we were neglecting a lot the house and the homestead. So I promised you guys a tour of the garden. Like it was not possible. Like I had weeds in some places that I didn't know if it was weeds or if it was like some of my stuff that went to seeds. So I was given fireweed. I was supposed to harvest the fireweed, but I couldn't find the fireweeds because like there was like so many weeds around it, and then so many things was like all over the place. So I'm really sorry. This year, garden tours is not possible. I ended up getting my car back on, I think it was like in August. Yeah, I think it was in August. Yeah, early August. Hello, Champlin. So I had the Rabbit old car, the beat up pickup truck, and I had 2 Kias that were lent to me. And then that was almost like 7 weeks. I think it's 6 or 8 weeks I lost my car. I was so happy to get my car. Like there's no way of saying how ungrateful I was about having a car. Because like I have my car in front of my house. So if I want to leave, I could just leave. And for like 4 weeks, I had that old, like the 2 weeks I had the old car that I couldn't drive. And then the pickup truck was just like for grocery shopping in like 15-minute trips. Like we couldn't go out and friend was on vacation. So when I got my car back and I didn't have to pay for rentals, I'm like, oh my God, like someone was like telling me how ungrateful I was about just like the convenience of having a car. Because it is a good convenience to have. And we had some unexpected expenses come with the car. So the motor was covered, but I had to pay for the rental. And I also had to pay for some parts, which was somewhat expensive. So that was like a kick in the teeth. So I took the entire month of August and the month of September like to meditate, heal, and enjoy life until kids started school. And then the chaos starts. Yeah, don't forget to do thumbs up. Hi, Remy. So that's where I've been. School started last week of August, beginning of September. It was an okay It was better than last year for sure. So the time for the boys to be picked up from school is like way better. Cedric was 6:30 last year. In Sorry, it started 6:50 and then it ended up being 6:30 because of the bridge that's broken. And then this year it's 7:03. So it's not so bad. It's not so bad. And Philip is 7:01, I think, also. So it's not so bad. And Emilia is 7:30. Not home. No worries. No worries. So everyone is somewhat settling at school. So the school part was not so bad. But then school starts. What happens like 2 weeks after school starts? Let's see. Let's see who can guess. What happens 2-3 weeks after school starts? Other than homeworks. Because Emilia had homework almost like at the end of the first complete week. Let's see who can guess it. Yes. So Fred, my husband, started getting allergies as soon as like August was settling into September. And this year it's like really bad. So Philip started having no, not suspended. No one got suspended. So Philip started showing signs of allergies because March for him is like everything buds outside, the leaves are starting to get out, and he gets like this massive allergy that lasts about 1 to 2 months. And regardless of everything I do, it didn't work. So I thought it was that. But then he started having like other symptoms. And then I was like, oh, shoot. And like, if I would known, everyone would have been like on vitamins and all of that. Because we spent like the entire summer outside. I didn't think it was like gonna be a cold, but yeah. So we all got hit with the cold. Philip, because of like his allergies, it was worse than the others. I had to keep him home. I had to keep him home for 2 days. It actually went into his ears. Emilia also almost had an ear infection. I was able to save that. Fred was home for 2 days also, so it was not bad. Actually, I have to go blow my nose now because I talked about my cold. I'll just be right back. I don't want you guys to hear that. Okay, I'm back. So yeah, I was sick, but even if I was sick, I still had like a boatload of tomatoes coming out of the garden. The days that I was feeling the sickest, I just froze everything, and I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna deal with it later. And I was like pushing stuff in the freezer, so I was like, okay, pushing, and then closing the door, hoping it would close. I got like 1 week of like the feeling, but the Fred and Philip were the most like down. I think I'm like starting something in the ear, so I'm gonna watch that very closely. You know, every year usually it's gastro. This year is a cold, and I think it's like the coughing part that was like the hardest. Like the kids would cough, 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 and Philip, he would like have so much mucus in his nose, he would end up overflowing. So yeah. Yeah, well, the more kids you have in school, the more viruses you bring back home. But happily, Philip is back and he's back into shape. Fred is like somewhat getting there. I'm somewhat getting there. Like the keys to rest. But since I enjoyed all summer long and packed my freezers with stuff, I have to can. So I've been canning almost like average a recipe per day and closing slowly the garden. So over the weekend, I closed one, two, one, two, three, four, 5 rows. So that closing a garden means like you remove everything, you weed everything, and technically I would have to put either a cover crop or something so that the weeds doesn't grow. Because our frost is supposed to be passed, but I still haven't had a frost. So this week I need to close the rest of the tomato rows and harvest all the green tomatoes and just like burn all of my tomato plants. So, and I relocated some of my raspberry plants like to have like a more like beauty garden instead of like, let's just plant something here, plant something here, plant something here and hope for the best. Well, that's what I did when I started. And spacing is like a nightmare. So I'm relocating some of my raspberries plants this year. That's not good, pneumonia. So my corn this year was an epic fail. My sweet potatoes were an epic fail. My peppers, I don't know if Fox is here today. He was right. I told on one live that I planted my sweet peppers, my only sweet peppers I had, with my bush beans. Sorry, my pole beans. And he told me that the pole beans would take too much and my pepper plants wouldn't provide. So my pepper plants reached maturity, but there was not so many fruits on it. So I'm not going to do that again next year. I didn't have that much peppers this year. I'm going to have to buy. I have to go to the store and buy like those boxes of peppers. What else was a failure? My tomatoes were not so bad. I bought 100 pounds of tomatoes just to be sure. I want to downsize tomato wise, like grow 1 year a lot of peppers, and then the year after grow a lot of tomatoes or something like that, so that I don't have like too much coming in at the same time, so I can still go out and explore the outdoors. Because if I look back from summer 2018, 19, 20, 21, 22, and 23, the only thing that I did was work for the homestead. I would say, no, not just the homestead, but like being a mom, being a homesteader, gardener, prepper. But I was rarely out of the house. So September, like I've accepted that September and October is a preserving month. That is, I've tested some stuff. Like I froze my diced tomatoes to do my salsa later. So if the consistency of the canned salsa this year is okay, that's what I'll do next year. So as soon as I have like the tomatoes coming out, I know that I want to do three times the recipe. I'm just going to do 36 cups of diced tomatoes and freeze it. And then when it gets colder and quieter, I can process that. So I'm doing some tests this year so that I can go out. Next year, we want to start one day, one night, one overnight camping, because we really, really enjoyed the outdoors. Like I realized how much I missed it. And it's ridiculous how much like the only thing we've been doing is working. Yeah, you had a frost, no? Celery is still in my garden. I don't know how I did this year. So my pumpkin and winter squash was doing great until I lost completely control of that jungle, and I had way too many plants for the amount of squash that I got. So I don't think I'll be growing squash next year. Or my last resort would be so I had a squash or pumpkin grow in my compost pile, and it's still growing now. But it started from seeds after July. So if I can find a winter squash that's juillet ou septembre, 90 days or under, that is bush, I could try to grow it in tunnels. Because I have experienced for the first time this year summer squash all summer long. So I did two things this year with summer squash. Usually July, no more harvest. I had to plant a second sowing and wait for now. But it's been too rainy that it did nothing for me this year. So I planted sacrificial tomato plants right next to the right next to the summer squash. So I had a row of 20 feet. I think I planted every 2 feet or ish. I think I had 10 plants in that 20 feet. And I planted 2 plants. So one went that way and one went the other way. So they had 4 feet wide to grow. And somewhere around the line between the 2 squash plants, I planted sacrificial tomato plants because tomato plants has very high fragrant when you touch it. So it's very fragrant. And I planted like between each of there were leftovers. I didn't know what to do with them. And I saw that I can plant them. And I'm like, okay, they're very fragrant. So it could be like a companion plant that will repel vine borers. And the second thing I did in the tunnel on the side, I have an 18-inch wood board that's there. So I barely saw, if I compare to the years prior, bugs. Okay, the cucumber beetle was there. It massacred the plants. And my cucumber, same thing. So, but the only thing now I need to find, so I know that I need to grow them in tunnels, that they need fragrant herbs or tomato plants, and to grow them in like something that protects the bottom stems. So I'm working on that. So if I can find winter squash that are bush types under 80 days would be preferable. I would grow 1 row of summer squash and 1 row of bush types, and I would tunnel them and put a net over and just like see what it does. But that's for next year. I'm still brainstorming on that. Peppers are definitely going back in the tunnel next year, or I'm building a temporary structure for the peppers because it's been 2 years that I don't have peppers. Meat for us this year is only chicken. For red meat, I have a couple of options. Fred has friends that are going hunting for moose. They have a moose stag and they have seen tracks. So they're talking right now. So I could potentially have access to that. I have 2 other options for red meat. I'm thinking of going with a subscription box, butcher's box, which is located in Ontario. They have organic pasture-raised red meat. And I also have a basket that is delivered every week that is called Lufa Farms. And every single time that their beef is on special, affordable pasture-raised organic meat, I jump on it. And there is now some local stores that it's not organic, but it says pasture-raised, pasture-finished beef. And I found some at $4.50 a pound. I found some at $6.50 a pound. So when I see that, I grab a couple. So this year meat is going to be slightly different. And I also have a third option, which is a friend of ours has 55 pounds, a quarter. No, it's not a quarter. I think it's an eighth of a beef. So meat wise, I'm going to have to be very frugal over the winter. And I think I'm going to go, and every time I see deals, get a little bit more, because only having chicken is making me slightly not scared, but like aware that with everything going on in this world right now, like we had water damage about, well, that's another thing I forgot to say. We had like 16 inches of water in our basement when we had that tail of hurricane pass here, damage a lot of stuff. Thankfully, it's an unfinished basement and it's a crawl space, so nothing major. But all of these like temperature changes and a lot of rain coming in and a lot of rain raising, it's making me slightly worried. And so we're looking into different options for the last 3 months of the year so that we can have meat. I still have some peppers growing and cherry tomatoes still coming in, but besides herbs, everything. Yeah, I have to go harvest all my herbs. This year, I'm also bringing plants inside the house. So I'm going to up pot all of my mints into a 22-inch by 22-inch by 24-inch tubs, hoping they're going to overwinter. I am going to be bringing clippings of rosemary, all of my mint varieties of lemon, verbena, sage, white sage. I think I said it. Thyme, rosemary, melon sage, pineapple sage. And I'm going to keep the clippings inside the house because I don't want to buy them next year again. Well, yeah, I remember you told me that. This year I will not be getting a pig. And thankfully, because I would have taken a pig and then financially not be able to pay for it because the price of our pig was the cost of our car. So let's just say that recuperating from the car or summer is going to take a little while. Nice. I have vine borers, squash bugs this year. They came, little shits. And squash bugs, vine borers, and the cucumber beetles. I had them all this year. Have to go. No worries. Enjoy the rest of your day. You're probably gone by now. I have to try that, the ash. I took down that note, but like Fred used our fire pit, like to burn everything and anything. So I'm not going to be using those ashes. No, he was supposed to go feed. I think it was last week. No, the week before, but he couldn't go. He was sick. So he's supposed to go feed. What are we now? October 1st. So this weekend he was asked to go feed, and he was asked if he wants to join the hunt. So I don't know. I'm still waiting for his answer. I would really love for a third or fourth of a moose. It would be nice. Be very nice. So if he's not participating this year, either we invest in a small quantity of camping gear and we invest in small quantity of hunting gear for him, or we find a way to go camping in hunting season so that he comes back to the camp and then he goes hunt. We have to figure out something. I don't know yet. Yeah, I have to cut back on a lot of my want, and I'm paying. Yeah. So definitely that the car has been a kick in the teeth, and the economy right now. At least the house's value has gone down. Like I saw in my village houses that were like priced like they were on the island of Montreal. And then I always look around the value of properties like to give me like an idea. And I saw that some of the properties went down. So maybe there is it's the optimistic part of me. There is a chance. I hope there is a chance that food will go down. I doubt it, but I still have that optimistic part of me. So I came back last week. I told Fred, like, I'm just going to do like a small grocery run until like I get paid from, we have like child allowance in every 3 months here in Quebec. So like I'm just gonna wait for I get my paycheck because those are my paychecks, and I'm just gonna do a small grocery run. So I had a bag, the big grocery bags, the maxi bags. Okay, that was full. I had a bag of potatoes, a 10-pound bag of potatoes, a 10-pound bag of apples, and I had a third thing on the side. I had a third bag of something. And the lady at the cash told me the price. I was like, what? I think I have the bag. Hold on. I think I have the bag. I'll show you. Okay. So this bag was full. Okay. So I had the 10-pound bags of potatoes. The second quality apples, I think it's 6 pounds or 10 pounds. And then I had something else. Oh, I bought the family size Tostitos because I made salsa and everyone eats salsa right now. So I bought all that. And she's like, oh, you have a $10 coupon code because of like you every dollar you spend, you have like a certain amount of points. And I had 10,000 points. And she's like, Chef, $10 out. I'm like, still $90 for all of that. It was crazy. So I'm trying to be even more frugal than I was before. I'm going. I would think I'm gonna go back to what I was 7 years ago. So when me and Fred sat down and decided I was not going to go back to work, we decided I was going to go back to basics. So baking, cooking from scratch, learning a lot of skills. So actually, this is going full circle. I don't know if you guys paid attention. I changed the name of the channel. Did anyone see it? Talking to yourself. We had just to replace our car as well. Then the truck. Oh my god! Yeah, I need to do the brakes. So on my car right now, I'm going to do a side note until I'm just going to wait for you guys to answer. So I need to change my windshield because I've been hit so many times with rocks. It's starting to crack everywhere. So at one point, I need to change my windshield, and I'm not passing that on my insurance. I need to do my front brakes, my back brakes, and because we now have a brand new motor alternator, is that how you say it? Alternator? And where you put your keys to start the car. Those three parts are brand new. So in the spring, I need to buy a set of summer tires, and we're sending my car off to the garage, and we're asking the mechanic that help us out with the diagnostic of my car. I'm going to tell him, okay, so I'm bringing you my car. You're going to go and tour my entire car, and you're going to tell me what is like red flag, orange flag, and like the good things of my car. And then how much like the red flags are. And then we're going to go from there. Because like I want to go to Ontario next year if there is a conference. So I need to have a working car. So yeah, I feel you on that. If we in the States elect the right person, the world might all get some really I don't want to go down that rabbit hole, but I do hope that regardless of everything that's happening, like something, somehow, a miracle is going to happen, or whatever you want to call it, and we're going to get back to normalcy. No electric bills would be nice, but just about to fire up the hot tub again. Yes! Quebec Hydro will open up the dam to heat the tub. um, yes. So the reasoning behind that, I changed the channel name. The short version is I no longer want, I've been wanting to do this for 2 years, and comments have discouraged me. So I have now 3,840 subs. And I was looking at my analytics before I stopped publishing every week, and it's kind of weird. It's maybe me that has too much high expectations. Okay, the dog's gonna bark. There's a car in front of the house. Oh, you're such a good dog. Boche, Luna, wujon boche. Oui, tu un boche. Oui, bonne fille. Okay, she made me lie. So, the only thing people were watching were older videos of canning for the Every Bit Counts challenge, in my pantry tours, in what was the other thing? I can't remember what it was. Anyways, there was 3 subjects that were like highly watched and in seasons. So when it's canning season, my older videos work. But when I launched new videos of canning, they wouldn't work. So I was trying to figure out the analytics of YouTube, and like my brain like exploded. So either the subs I have are not interested with the content of homesteading exclusively, or I hope this is not the case. They're like not subs, like bots. And I've been wanting to do like a vlog style daily life as the season goes for 2 years now. I don't know how to do this. This is brand new. So since like 2 years ago, I wanted to do that, and I was highly discouraged to do it because vlogging could be like very long to pick up. But I found myself like being a person that was not completely like genuine. So yes, as a content creator, you create content. That's what we are. But like I found myself like forcing myself to do stuff. And I don't want to do that. I want to be genuine, and I want like to show what back to basics means for me. That's like the short version of why I changed to back to basics with Annie. So it gives me the opportunity of still publishing the same type of content. So the garden, the homesteading part of it, preserving, but also like outdoor activities that I do. Also, I am seeing a lot of content creators that are homesteaders mentioning either that they are quitting, or they saw like a huge downfall compared to the year prior. Yes, I am aware that during the C years, the 4 years of the C virus, a lot of people wanted to go and grow their own food, preserve their own food. But now that everything's back to normal, some of them no longer wants to do it or no longer has the time to do it. So the type of content is not that much as popular. So it got me thinking, and that's why I changed it to with Annie. I just put new rotors and pad on the back of my car, but bought for the front too. Didn't end up needing them for the front. Yeah, but you'll end up needing them. Because like if you keep your car, you're going to end up needing them. I don't know if things will ever be normal again. Like I said, the optimistic part of me hopes it will. Because I feel like the planet Earth as a whole is like either sick, sad, struggling. But because it's so a taboo subject, like we're all struggling with something, but yet like we go outdoors and like we have like this huge smile, everything's gonna be okay. But inside our bodies, we're like either boiling, crying, or crumbling in some sorts. So I do really, really hope that something normal is going to come out of this. Okay, so I'm not the only one that needs to do stuff on their cars. Well, my car is 10 years old. It's a 2015. And it reached well, now the motor's brand new, but it's still considered 2010, 200, I'm going to say it, 210,000 kilometers on my car. So yes, the motor is brand new. Yes, the alternator is brand new. The ignition is brand new. But the entire part under the car is 200,000 kilometers. Yeah, so vlogging is brand new to me. I tried many styles. So when I started, I did how-to videos, how to go back to basics. Like specifically long speaking, sitting in front of the camera. That was before the B-roll and the zoom in, zoom out was like a necessity. That did not work. And then I tried a little bit of vlog, but I think I was lacking emotion. Like as a beginner vlogger, it's not just filming. There's other stuff. There's emotion that needs to be involved. I do have one problem. Yeah, Annie's fishing chat. Oh yeah, I don't know if you saw it, but it was pouring rain in one of the shorts I did, and we were still fishing. Philip is like the one that stayed out. I was the forced to go back in the car because I was starting to get cold, and Philip was like dripping from everywhere, and he was still fishing, and he was loving it. And he's watching a lot of fishing videos on YouTube. So right now, Philip is really, there's one channel that I really, really love that he's watching, The Outdoor Boys. And another one. It's a father with his kids. I haven't really sat down and seen like if everything's okay, but from what I'm hearing, it seems somewhat cool. And he has a scuba diving, you know, when you lose something in the water, he goes pick up phones and like there's like adventure. So he goes like he's more like water sports. He also watches that, but now he's like into fishing. He's actually asking us to go ice fishing. I do not go ice fishing unless I face my fear of the ice. I am terrified of walking on ice. Even if you tell me it's like a car, the size of a car frozen, I am still scared. Like I walk on the ice and I literally freeze. I can't go forward. Like I'm terrified that it cracks and I'm going to fall in. So either I face that fear or the boys are going to go ice fishing on their own and me and Emilia are going to do something else. But definitely I need to relearn how to fish. Yeah, my car is 210,000 kilometers. But remember, I stopped working 7 years ago. I no longer use my car on a daily basis. I no longer go to Gaspésie three times a year to go visit my sister. I no longer go to Ontario to go visit my in-laws 6 hours away from my house. I no longer go on trips. Me and my husband, we used to go camping and we would put thousands of kilometers on the car. So if I would have kept the habit of my car prior to stopping working, I would have hit 300,000 kilometers for sure. That's if the car would have survived. I would put an average of 33 to 37,000 kilometers per year on my car when I was working. But we looked into a hotel the other day because we want to go next year. There's a couple of things we want to go. So we want to go to Sandbanks out of the season. So either like now or prior to the 2 weeks of constructions vacation. So I want to go camping 1 or 2 nights at Sandbanks. And there's another place I wanted to go. Oh, yeah. So Quebec City, there's an aquarium. And for a family size room, because we're considered a big family, 3 kids, 2 adults. If we want to go to a normal hotel, it would be 2 rooms because we are not allowed to be 5 in one room. It's 4. It's $300 a night. So we wanted to bring the kids on an overnighter to Quebec, the hotel, go to the aquarium, walk a little bit in Quebec City, and then come back home the next day. Like, I can't do that. So, yeah, those would be types of trips we would do when I was working because I had an income. Now the income I have is just us selling stuff that's laying around the house, or my the fact that I don't work, he can claim me as a dependent. Will the GMC make those numbers climb fast? Yeah, of course. I remember when I started dating Fred, he was living in Alexandria. Is it Alexandria? No, it was not that. No, it was not. Anyways, it was an hour away from where I used to live on the island of Montreal. So he would leave on a Friday night to come pick me up at my apartment, and then we would go to his house. So that would be like a 2-hour drive. And then we would drive around where his house was because we used to drive and listen to music. But it was only an hour. You were in Ontario, my memory's correct, when you met Bridget, and she was in Quebec. So that's like, those numbers must have climbed and accumulated. I was told that the years that the Kia was built, I will lose the structure of the car before I lose the mechanics of the car. So I would lose it to rust before I can kill the car. So I could maybe reach 300,000 kilometers, but somewhere around the next 5 years, we need to maybe think of getting another car. And Emilia's, oh my God, we're October 1st. Emilia's gonna be 12 this year. Oh my God. Yeah, she's gonna be 12 this year. So in 5 years, my car could become potentially her car, and I would need a car. So yeah, in the next 5 years, I need to figure out what I'm going to do with Amelia's teeth. In December, I'm going for the analysis. She got 2 teeth removed, and I pray that I resolve the issue because all the money we put aside for her retainer that she was supposed to have went to the repairs of the car. So I'm hoping in December we have good news. We either have one more year in front of us so that I can save up the money, or that it's done. We can live with the 2 extract that she had. So yeah, I'm looking for like more, like less stressful year next year. Well, the end of this year and next year. Ooh, that was a lot. Round trip. That is love. That is love, I have to say. And you were doing that every weekend? That is definitely love. Yeah. True. I took the truck to the junkyard and went the big fork Lifted it off. Trailer. Bent in half. Wait, the truck that you came down this year with? Or another truck? Floor under your feet only helps to keep the rain and the snow out. Are you talking about what I said, that the under of the car? Is that what you're referring to? Because there's parts under the car, remember? The exhaust and all of that. Or you're talking about something else. Oh, okay. I was like, your Ford. I think it's a Ford. Your Ford looked pretty new when I saw you this summer. It's already been It's already been 5 months. It's already been 5 months, guys. The summer like went by super fast. It's crazy. Fun's. Ooh. You know when it's cold and there's like slush and like salt and like all the debris? Yeah, it's very helpful. Yeah. Just remember, you have to have brakes if you want to do that. I have a car now for about 3 years that is doing pretty well. I got. Yeah, metal is pretty good right now. We've been scrapping a lot of stuff. Like Fred collects scraps here and there, and some of the stuff that he keeps ends up being scrap because he likes to collect stuff. Fred's a collector, and he brings it to the scrap, and he's like, "Oh, we have $100." I'm like, "Ooh, this is so fun!" But then I'm like, he's like, "Well, yes, we could spend it on like splurge, but I think we should keep it for the grocery this week because like everything is like so expensive." So I'm like, "Yeah, you're absolutely right. So let's just keep like $10-$20 for yourself and the rest for the groceries." He's like, "Okay, deal." Yeah, brakes are so overrated. So my roads go like this. So brakes are not overrated here. Every year when I go to grocery shopping, so what I do is I call Fred because he uses the small roads to go to the main roads. And I'm like, "How's the wind today?" And he's like, "Oh, it's not so bad because when the wind blows, it covers the roads here. And when the sun shines, it melts that snow and then you have black ice under it." And people think they're like, "Oh, it's I have good tires, I have good brakes, I'll do it. I drive awesome." And then like you see like 5 cars in the ditch just to go grocery shopping. I'm like, "Ooh, fun. I guess I'm gonna snow down." So now brakes are not at all, they're not overrated. They're important. They're very important. They could save lives. Usually, that's what they're meant for. They could save lives. Oh, last thing I wanted to say. So, I got caught like in a slight idea. So, the vlog is something I want to do, but I had something happen to me this summer. I lost my 2 tripods. I had the tripod you sent me, Tracy, as a gift. Luna ate it. She massacred it. Like, oh my God. The kids, they filmed themselves because obviously they saw me film. They've been seeing me film for a while now. I had an old phone laying around, and they took it and they dropped it next to Luna's cage. I didn't see it. I went to paddleboard and I came back, and that night I cried. She broke my only tripod I had to vlog, and she also, I cried when that happened. I don't know how to say that. She scratched my massage table. My professional. I paid a fortune for that one. She scratched my massage table that I was practicing Reiki on and potentially doing massages again. I was so mad. I cried. Cry mad. The massage table, we're going to try to fix it. I did find some like inexpensive ones that I can either get used or online, which is a relief because I am no longer able to treat or do Reiki on my kids. And they fall asleep sometimes when I do it on the table. When I do it on the chair, it still works, but the kids prefer the bed. So I need to as soon as all the finances stuff of the car is like out of the way, that's like some of the priorities. It's on my like bucket list of stuff that I need to get. But I do need to get a selfie and a selfie mode and a regular mode tripod. So when Fred threw out the tripod, I had a selfie mode extender on it. And I forgot to remove it. So the tripod I have is like I try to do the best that I can. It's my first original one. It's like a little tiny one, so it still works. But I kind of like it's not giving me what I want. So I had a couple of things filmed. I wanted to do a collage of all of that and like do voiceovers. Like it's like a little bit of like knickknacks of everything I'm doing right now. But you see that sometimes like I'm filming and the phone falls because like it just doesn't work properly. Or Luna passes next to my tower of stuff so that it could be like eye level, and Luna passes next to it and like you can see it wiggle a little bit. So it's not perfect, but I'll figure something out until I'm eyeing either the one that Lynn from Bucket List Homestead has, or a similar one that you got me, Tracy, so that I can at least get some footage done and get back on creating content for you guys. Right now, I'm mainly creating shorts of what I'm doing so that my account does not get demonetized. Because since I stopped publishing on a regular basis, I do not reach the requirements to be monetized, but if I keep publishing, I will. So that's why I keep you guys up in the loop. I give you like little sneak peeks. And I don't know about Sunday night lives anymore. The kids go to bed a little later, and when I do lives, they're not asleep, and I hear them walking and I hear them doing stuff. And then let's just say my live finishes at, there's ones, my live finished late. I stayed on late, and then the kids did not go to bed, and Fred was already asleep with Cedric, because Fred wakes up like at 3 a.m. So I don't expect him like to stay up till like 10 at night. So Sunday night live is probably not going to stay for the moment. Tuesday morning is like a little easier, less things to control. I'm alone at home. Yeah, the camera, I'm saving up for, I still have my camera. Fred borrowed it this week. It still works. I am able to take pictures. So I did take pictures last week of a little walk I did. I don't know how the pictures turned out. I need to watch them. I can still take pictures, but filming without a tripod with a big camera is somewhat hard. So I don't know. We've been looking into different options. Remy suggested the GoPro, I think the 11, or a tripod. There is a part of me that wants to get away from filming with a phone. So I've been looking for different options to film. That's another thing I've been wanting to do for a very long time. The vlogging, daily life, living as a season, going back to basics has been like on my mind for like super long. But filming without a phone has been a desire of mine for like ever. I want to detach myself from my phone and have like create like this habit of like on a daily basis I film, I take the content, put it in a folder on my computer so that I can edit on my computer. Now I film, edit, and publish on my phone. Not that it's bad, it's just I find myself always being on the phone. Yes, the screen nows are like adapted and all of that, but I feel that like my posture is shit. Sorry, my language. Uh, I spend way too much time on the phone because like I get distracted. I get emails. I get this. I get that, and then I end up like instead of working for an hour of editing, publishing, and like constructive work, I get sidetracked really easy. So now we'll start recording No Borders. Yes! I want to do enough this fall for 2 episodes a month. Awesome. Well, I'm following a course. I it starts October 6th and it's going to be on Tuesday night at 8. Sorry. Is it 8? Yeah, I think it's 8. Where is it? Okay, so the course starts on October 6th and on, I think, my first live, yeah, it's 8 p.m. So Tuesday for 8 weeks. So where is the calendar? Let me figure out where the calendar is so I can tell you. Oh, there it is. Okay, so I finish on December 14th. So if you're still doing your episodes on Tuesdays, I will be able to join you on after my course. Did I miss any comments? Yeah, I do have homework, but like if I know in advance, I'll plan my week. And so I'm going to do that. I'm doing a couple of courses over the winter. I don't know, like I have like a list of stuff that I want to do to complete what I'm already doing. It's like the winter, it's like the best time to learn either new skill or to fine tune some of them. And that's what I'll be doing over the winter. There is one question I do not have the answer to, and I'm not rushing it. So I think when did I announce this? I announced that I had a second English channel. That was my healing journey. And I opened it. When did I open it? It was 6 months ago, I think. Yeah, it was early on this year. Yeah. So I I've always been like nature wise attracted to that. So in the last year since I had my big burnout, depression, what do you want to call it? Um, I went a different route. I didn't go conventional medicine. I went holistic, and I have discovered many things. I've discovered Reiki, aroma therapy, um, and it brought me to a holistic way of life, which is like really is very similar to back to basic. Living a holistic lifestyle is connecting with nature, connecting with your food, praying, a spiritual life, and so it's pretty much related. Like back to basic holistic lifestyle is for me is like the definition is somewhat the same. So the question is for me is do I still pursue that dream of having like a more holistic channel and keep my back to basics and not share it or like somewhat merge it? That's one of the questions that I still have not answered. The one other question I had that I do now have the answer is my French channel. I will be filming for both. So when I film, I'm going to try to have like the content that I'm creating in English have a very take that content and make it into French. That will be a very, very long learning process. Like a YouTube friend, Mallory, from her English channel is her Eco Life, and her French one is Malo. She's done it. She's been doing it for a very, very long time. I want to ask her a couple of questions, like how she, like the tips and tricks she does, how to separate both, but then when she comes to edit, how to make it work. So I want to have that. I would like to monetize the French one next year. That would be like a really fun thing. It's the French one, if you didn't know, is Vive Simplement avec Annie. So it's basically same thing. So back to basic in French is Retour aux sources. But I didn't like that name. So that's why I chose the other name. So the content will be very similar. The shorts will be very similar. The only answer I'm searching for, or I'm not going to push, is if I merge the holistic one or not. And that, if it takes months to figure it out, it's going to take months. I don't want to push it. I want it to be genuine and not forced. Before I let you guys go, what are you working on? Big projects. It's the summer, like the summer ended. We are in fall. There's one thing I wanted to do that I forgot at the beginning of the live. So I don't know if you guys are still here. I'm still seeing 4 people. I want to send out lots of healing, lots of love and prayers to the people that are affected by, I don't know if I'm saying her name right, Helene, the hurricane that just hit Florida. I am seeing the devastation and the aftermath of the hurricane and footage. My heart squeezed when I saw those footage. So I know that it must be stressful, heartaches. So I'm sending prayers and a lot of healing vibes your way. So I'm guessing this means you're going to cut some firewood. Talk to you later. So my mother tongue is French. I learned French first. I learned English when I was 5. So I can speak both language. And if I have a friend that is bilingual like me, and we switch from English to French all the time. So we speak franglais. So people that are following us are somewhat confused. But ironically, I am French, but I have an easier time being myself in English. I never understood that question. Like, I don't understand that. So writing for me is much more easy in English than in French. Reading a book. I've been reading. I have a reading challenge that I've created myself. I want to read 20 books. And I always find myself picking English books because French, I always have a hard time. So maybe next year, my challenge will be like 5 French books and maybe 18 English. And we'll see how that goes. But also, I know part of the answer. I'm a very curious person. And when I go down a rabbit hole of information, it is easier to find information in English than in French. So it, that makes sense. And the English language also is easier, um, simpler if you don't count the irregular verbs. So I'm reading right now a little bit of everything. I am at book 5 of the Akatar, A Court of Thorn and Roses. So I'm going to start that as soon as I'm done reading. What is this one called that I'm reading? Realms of Wrath is also right now. That's the one I'm reading. So fantasy books most for the most part, and I also have like holistic stuff that I'm reading. And there is one on my to read book. It's called Pretty Happy from Kate Hudson, and stuff related to Reiki, and it's pretty vague. But I mostly read what I love as movies. So romance, fantasy. Like my favorite movies are Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, Underworld, those mystique type. So there is something I'm doing right now since I'm counting a lot. So I bought the books and I found myself not reading from July, August. And usually like I would read 1.5 books per month. And now what I'm doing is as I'm counting, I'm listening to my book. So I have an e-tablet. I read books in in my hands. So the Akatar are in paper form, but the other one I'm reading is on my tablet. And I also have Audible, and every month I have a free credit. So the Akatar 2, 3, 4, 5, I've taken my credits that I have with Audible, and while I'm counting, I'm just listening to the book. And then when I can sit down, I just look at where I was, like chapter 9, and then I sit down in chapter 9 and I start reading. And then when I can, or I am in traffic, I just listen to Audible. So Audible is definitely a good way to get some books. On Audible, my husband and I also listen to personal development books. Because you have one free credit a month, but you also have access to a free library. On the tablet, you have access to pay on Amazon for ebooks, or you have Kindle Unlimited. So I have those 2 services. Yes, it's a splurge, but considering that reading is it's good for your mind, good for your soul, we find that those expenses per month are worth it. I don't remember how much. I think it's like, I don't know if you're in Canada. I think it's $17 a month for about like for each. But considering let's just say that I read a book and a half every month, and I do not buy paper version. Like a book right now is like between on Indigo, it's between $16 when it's on special to $35. So, let's just say you read one book a month. Uh, it is and it is worth it. There are some months that I don't read, and there's months that I read a lot. So we've debated canceling, but I enjoy having that option. Yes, I love the touchy-feely part of having a book in my hands, but it's like if you're renting, you're allowed to have 12 books when you buy the Kindle Unlimited. So I have my next 12 books I want to read in there, and I go from there. Well, I'm going to go canning. I have a tomato soup I have to go can, and I have to process 50 pounds of tomatoes. And I bought 120 pounds of apples, second quality. So I have to do all of that over this week. So I don't know who's still here, but thank you for popping in. I thought it was going to be crickets because I haven't been live in so long. So I thank you from the bottom of my heart to come chat with me. I hope if you're watching this on replay, I hope you have a good day. Yeah, busy week for sure. And I will see if I can make Tuesday morning happen every week. Until the next time, take care. Bye. Bye, Jill.